My name is Anthony Toma. I'm a real estate broker here in Vaughan, Ontario, which is about 40 minutes north of Toronto. And this is how I got into this industry, which is one that I never thought that I would be in. So I've been in this industry for about 9 years. I got into real estate in 2015, and back then, the prices and the industry as a whole was a lot different than how I know it as today. Everything from technology to the way that things are done, from signing agreements to advertising and promoting myself, everything is different since when I joined in this industry. But I can tell you right now that everything has made it a lot easier for us real estate agents to be able to promote our business and reach more people through platforms like this here on YouTube. So I'm 33 years old. Again, I joined in this industry when it was 2015. Back then, it was, bidding wars weren't that common, but the demand for real estate was still very high. But when I did get into real estate, believe it or not, this was not the industry that I got out of high school wanting to become. I actually left high school learning about HVAC, which is heating and air conditioning, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning to be specific. I was in school for about 3 years doing HVAC. I went to George Brown College, which is in Toronto. And that journey for me, I felt like I was just doing something more so just to find something. I don't know if that makes sense. But most of my friends were in HVAC, and for me, it was the easiest thing to get into that I can relate to my friends with obviously learning together. So, I joined with about 3 of my buddies, joining the program in George Brown. And for me, I wasn't in love with that type of work. For me, I never really was a hands-on type of person, but I didn't mind learning it. I actually went through all 3 years in HVAC, and I found out when I was on the field that this was not the industry that I was going to be staying in. So fast forwarding about 5 years after starting school at George Brown, I was about 2 years, 3 years in the industry of HVAC, and I wasn't really loving it. So real estate was something that was brought up to me from somebody that I worked with in a company that I did HVAC in. And he would just say things about how he would get into real estate if he wasn't doing HVAC. So I was pretty intrigued at that point, but I never really knew what consisted about being a realtor. So I was intrigued enough to want to just learn about this industry rather than just jumping in. And obviously back then we had to do 3 years. I think it was actually 3 courses in order to get our license. Now it's a little bit different. I think it's about 5 courses and you actually have to go to college for it. But when I joined, I was taking classes at nighttime while I was still working in HVAC and, just learning about it. But I was motivated. And I know that, the feeling about learning something new, that's exciting to people. And that's what kept me wanting to keep learning about real estate. But, shortly after I left HVAC, I joined a home builder because I knew I was going to get into real estate eventually. So I joined a home builder, worked doing a bunch of admin, and worked my way up to working with people because I was never really working with people. When I'm doing HVAC, I'm on the rooftop servicing, maintaining, so I wasn't really around people. So people skills is a big part of this industry. If people don't tell you that who are in this industry, I'll tell you right now, that's a big part. That's a main part of what we do. We manage people, we manage expectations, we manage emotions, and I had to learn that being involved in I'm not going to say the home builder, but when I worked for a home builder, I learned working with them and helping people with their warranted items. When you buy a new home, you get to, have certain things under warranty. So, that's how I kind of learned to talk with people and seeing how the emotions are dealt with when you're a service person. And that's really what we are. We service people, we service this industry. But yeah, I learned that on the go. And later on, about 2 years doing that in the home building world, I eventually got my license full time after, again, I was doing night school and things like that. But when I was eventually licensed, then I just went full fledged. I had somebody who was a friend of mine who wanted to buy real estate. And from there, I did a deal. I made about $7,000 on that deal. And, from there I said, this is now where I have to start. $7,000 to me was huge. So I said, this is my start to want to just become that full time. So I hit the ground running, started to get a little bit lucky, and that's what we need in this industry is just a little bit of momentum. And that's any industry too. Once you gain momentum, you feel good, you want to keep going. And, year after year, wasn't really making much, maybe around 80,000, around there, 50 to 100,000 between there, whatever. So, but it kept me motivated to see the opportunities. And that's what made me realize that this industry is so much more than selling real estate, although that is what it is at its core. but it's working with people. It's building a business of helping people find a home. There's so many avenues that you can go in, but you know, that's my journey. And here I am now, 9 years later. I'm very happy to say that I'm a happy real estate broker. I found something that I love. And you know, all the experiences that I've had working with people over the years, they've allowed me to enjoy this industry. But you know, like anything else, you don't enjoy everything, but I've learned to love everything about this industry, the good and the bad, and it made me a better agent. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you for staying patient throughout the rambling about my journey, but just wanted to shoot a quick video about how I got into real estate. And if you guys have any specific topics that you think I should talk about, let me know in the comments or shoot me a message direct, and I'd be happy to take that. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. And until next time.